Tyreek Hill in talks to return UNFL season, about to get wild. Big news coming out of Kansas City. Tyreek Hill has officially started talks to reunite with the Chiefs. If this deal goes through, buckle up, because the 2025 NFL season is about to be one of the most electrifying in history. Imagine Mahomes slinging deep balls to Hill, Kelce owning the middle of the field, and Andy Reid cooking up unstoppable plays. That's not just exciting, and that's championship level football. Get ready for highlight reels. Get ready for deep bombs. Get ready for a season you won't forget. Chiefs Kingdom, are you excited for the Cheetah to come home? Drop in the comments if you're ready to watch history unfold. Think you understand what's happening in Kansas City? Think again. What I'm about to reveal regarding Travis Kelce will jolt every Chiefs fan to their very core. Watch till the end, smash that like button, drop AWE if you still have faith in the Chiefs, or an L if you've lost hope. And don't forget to subscribe now. Listen closely, Chiefs Kingdom, because what I'm witnessing right now in Kansas City is poised to transform everything you thought you knew about this franchise's future. Everyone's been whispering, speculating, and flat out assuming that we're witnessing the twilight of an era. But let me tell you something. As sometimes the popular narrative is nothing more than a mirage, obscuring the true reality that's unfolding behind closed doors. Right now, there's an electrifying dynamic taking shape that most people haven't even noticed. While the media circus churns out stories of retirements and final chapters, a completely different energy is brewing within the Chiefs facility. An energy that distinguishes true champions from mere footnotes in the history book. Patrick Mahomes, the man who has redefined clutch performance, recently shared something that should make every Chiefs fan's heart skip a beat. But here's the kick. It wasn't just what he said that, caught my attention, but how he said it. There's a conviction in his voice, a resolute certainty that suggests he knows something the rest of us are only beginning to comprehend. When you've been around this game as long as I have, you learn to read between the lines. You recognize the difference between a player simply going through the motions and one who is truly dialed in. And what Mahomes described isn't just a matter of professionalism or loyalty. It's something deeper, something that resonates with the very core of what makes champions tick. Legacy talk has been saturating sports talk shows from coast to coast. Analysts dissect stats, compare seasons, and draw conclusions based on what they think they see. But statistics never tell the full story, especially when you're dealing with athletes who have been performing at the highest level for over a decade. Sometimes the most defining battles take place in the shadows of practice facilities, weight rooms, and film sessions far from the camera's gaze. What's particularly intriguing is how this narrative has shifted over the past few months. Earlier in the offseason, the speculation was rampant. Veterans were being counted out, potential replacements discussed, and the future mapped out as if decisions had already been finalized. But then something changed, the tone shifted. The energy transformed. Mahomes spoke of witnessing a transformation, a renewed sense of purpose that transcends all expectations. When a quarterback of his caliber speaks with that level of excitement, you better believe there's substance behind his words. The physical dimension of this story cannot be ignored. We're talking about professional athletes who have subjected their bodies to relentless punishment for years. Every season exacts a price. Every game adds to the cumulative toll, but what Mahomes is observing defies the usual expectations about aging in professional sports. There's talk of moving better, feeling stronger, and approaching the game with a fresh perspective that simply wasn't there a few months ago. This isn't about denial or wishful thinking. It's about a genuine physical and mental resurgence that suggests someone is far from done. When elite athletes speak of feeling rejuvenated at this point in their careers, it usually means they've found something that reignites their competitive fire, and perhaps most telling of all is the work ethic component of this entire narrative. This isn't someone going through the motions or simply fulfilling a contract. This is someone who is actively seeking ways to evolve, to refine, to add new layers to their game, even after more than a decade at the very peak of performance. The motivation factor that Mahomes is witnessing tells a story far deeper than most people realize about, true competition at the highest level. When you've already secured everything, multiple Super Bowl rings, record-breaking stats, Hall of Fame credentials, what compels you to keep pushing for more? The answer lies in something that separates true champions from those who merely collect accolades and coast into a comfortable retirement. What's unfolding in Kansas City is nothing short of remarkable. Kansas City exemplifies a masterclass in how elite athletes can reinvent themselves even when conventional wisdom insists their prime years have faded. That 11th season as a starting tight end isn't just another line on a resume. It's a testament to over a decade of enduring physical punishment, making lightning-fast decisions under relentless pressure, and embodying the kind of consistency that cements legacies. Yet here's what makes this situation utterly captivating. Rather than showing the typical signs of decline or mental exhaustion, we're witnessing what appears to be a remarkable physical and mental renaissance. The narrative of decline that dominated last season's discourse wasn't entirely baseless. The numbers, after all, don't lie. Production dipped to career lows, touchdowns fell short of expectations, and those explosive plays that once defined this player's impact became less frequent. Critics had legitimate cause to wonder if Father Time had finally caught up with a man who had defied it for so long. But here's what those critics overlooked. Sometimes a down year isn't the beginning of the end, it's the spark that ignites a spectacular resurgence. Mahomes' insights into this player's current physical state paint a picture that should strike fear into every opposing defense. When he talks about someone feeling better than ever before, better even than at the start of last season, he's not referring to modest improvements or optimistic self-assessments. He's pointing to observable, tangible enhancements in mobility, energy, and overall physical presence, evidence of a total overhaul that likely took place in the offseason. This isn't about gritting through pain or masking limitations. It's about returning to peak form after what may have been a season overshadowed by undisclosed issues. The work ethic component reveals something even more profound about the mental approach heading into this pivotal campaign. Elite athletes who've reached the sports summit face a unique challenge, discovering new motivations after they've already achieved everything. But Mahomes' observations suggest someone who's found that elusive second wind, a renewed sense of purpose that can extend careers and create thrilling new chapters in an already legendary story. At this stage of a career, technical refinement requires a different approach than what younger players might employ. It's no longer about raw talent or learning fundamentals. It's about refining techniques that have been perfected over years, discovering new ways to create advantages by leveraging experience and football intelligence, and adapting to the ever-evolving game. The fact that this player is actively seeking ways to enhance his craft rather than simply maintain his level of performance speaks volumes about a mindset that could yield extraordinary results. The team dynamic adds yet another layer of complexity. When your quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, expectations and opportunities are inherently different than in other offensive systems. The chemistry between Mahomes and this tight end has been one of the most lethal combinations in recent NFL history, built on timing, trust, and a near telepathic understanding of how to dissect defenses. That level of rapport doesn't materialize overnight, nor is it easily replaced by younger players who might possess superior physical traits, but lack the mental acuity honed by years of high-level competition. The bounce-back potential Mahomes hints at isn't just wishful thinking from a supportive teammate. When you factor in the challenges that may have contributed to last season's statistical decline, injury management, offensive system tweaks, and increased defensive focus, it becomes evident that a return to elite production isn't merely possible. It's highly probable under the right circumstances. The preparation phase currently underway is laying the groundwork for what could become one of the most captivating comeback seasons in recent memory. The confluence of improved physical condition, renewed mental focus, and the motivation to silence the doubters creates the perfect storm for a legendary performance. Combine that with an offensive system specifically designed to maximize tight end output, and you have the formula for a season that could completely flip the narrative. The broader implications for the Chiefs' championship aspirations cannot be overstated. A rejuvenated tight end doesn't just boost individual stats. It transforms the entire offensive dynamic, creates nightmares for defensive coordinators, and offers Mahomes the kind of reliable target that championship teams rely on in defining moments. The ripple effects of this potential renaissance could determine whether Kansas City continues its dynasty or falls short of its ultimate goals. What makes this all the more compelling is the element of surprise that no one anticipated. While analysts were busy penning obituaries and organizing farewell tours, the real work for a dominant season was unfolding behind closed doors. The chasm between public perception and private reality has created an opportunity for one of those magical seasons that reminds fans why they fell in love with this game in the first place. The championship window remains wide open for this Chiefs team, and a revitalized, driven tight end could be the key difference between another Lombardi trophy and another season of what-ifs. An elite quarterback, championship experience, and an organization that knows how to win when it matters most. Adding a motivated veteran determined to prove he's far from finished could be the final puzzle piece that cements another championship run. Chiefs Kingdom. This is exactly why you need to stay plugged into everything happening in Kansas City. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you as fired up as I am for what this season could bring? Smash that like button if you believe this team is poised to shock the world yet again, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll be breaking down every twist and turn of this incredible journey, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single update about what could be the most unforgettable season in recent Chiefs history. Y'all aren't ready for what I'm about to drop on you about Kansas City's hidden weapon? This man just made a move that's got the entire league buzzing, and it might be the difference between hoisting another Lombardi or heading home empty-handed. Watch till the end, smash that like button, drop AEW if you believe in the Chiefs or an L if you've lost hope, and hit subscribe, because this is absolutely electrifying. Listen up, Chiefs Kingdom, because what I'm about to break down is exactly why Kansas City is poised to shock the entire NFL this season. And it all starts with one man's extraordinary metamorphosis that nobody saw coming. I'm talking about Isaiah Pacheco. And let me tell you something, this young man just flipped the entire script on how running backs prepare to dominate the gridiron. While every other back in the league is trimming down, trying to get leaner and faster, Pacheco glanced at the playbook and said, nope, I'm going the opposite route. That's right, folks. In a league obsessed with speed, Pacheco is getting bigger and stronger. And the reasoning behind it is nothing short of brilliant. After suffering that brutal fibula fracture in week 2 against Cincinnati last season, an injury that was absolutely gut-wrenching to witness live, he endured 9 grueling weeks on injured reserve, watching his brothers battle on the field without him. But here's where it gets interesting. Pacheco came back, but he later admitted something that most players would never dare say publicly. He never felt like himself for the rest of the season. That's raw honesty right there, the kind that takes real courage. While rehabbing that broken fibula, his body naturally shed weight, a byproduct of inactivity, a lack of hits, and the loss of that hardened, football-ready physique. But instead of accepting that as the new status quo, Pacheco looked in the mirror and had a revelation. He needed to bulk up to endure the punishment that comes with being an NFL running back. Let that sink in. Running backs absorb more hits per touch than any other position in football. Linebackers crashing down, safeties on the blitz, corners flying downhill. It's a battlefield on every snap. Most guys try to dodge that punishment by getting quicker or more elusive. But Pacheco, this man, decided to become a wrecking ball, a force too powerful to be easily brought down. Currently listed at 216 pounds, Pacheco hasn't revealed his target weight. But Andy Reid, a coach who's seen every type of transformation in this league, immediately noticed the difference. Reid said, Pacheco looks tremendous with the added bulk. And when Andy Reid gives you that kind of praise, you know you're on the right track. But what truly sets this story apart from your average offseason narrative is that this is the first time in Pacheco's pro career that he's not preparing to defend a Super Bowl title. Think about that shift in mindset. For 2 straight years, he's been part of championship teams, immersed in that pressure cooker where the expectation is to repeat. Now, for the first time, he's got something to prove again. That hunger, that underdog mentality, that's what forged his success at Rutgers and carried him into his rookie season. And where did he go to rediscover that fire? Back home to New Jersey, back to the same ICA where his football journey began. Picture that, Isaiah Pacheco, 2-time Super Bowl champion, grinding it out in the same gym where he once lifted his first weight. That's humility, that's remembering your roots, but it gets even better. Well, he's in there grinding Eagles fans because it's New Jersey and Eagles fans are everywhere. Start talking trash, question whether he's still got what it takes. Instead of lashing out or getting defensive, Pacheco took that disrespect and turned it into fuel. That's the championship mentality that separates legends from the rest. Most players surround themselves with yes men, people who tell them what they want to hear. But Pacheco, he sought out the noise, stepped right into enemy territory, and turned that doubt into his driving force. The mental transformation Pacheco is undergoing is just as profound as the physical one. Chiefs fans need to pay close attention because this could be the X factor nobody's talking about. When Pacheco says his mental toughness is solid and his physical readiness is top-notch, he's not just reciting cliches. This man faced an injury that sidelines a lot of careers, missing over half the season, and instead of letting it define him, he's using it as a foundation for an epic comeback. Let's unpack what this added muscle mass means for Kansas City's offense. Even after Pacheco returned from injury last season, the Chiefs' ground game never fully hit its stride. Now, with this added weight and renewed mental edge, he's positioned to bulldoze defenders, wear down defenses, and give Mahomes and the offense a whole new dimension of physicality and toughness. This is the kind of transformation that turns doubters into believers and takes a good offense and makes it unstoppable. Chiefs fans, get ready, because Isaiah Pacheco's transformation isn't just a headline. It's the key to unlocking another ring. Drop your thoughts below. Are you as fired up as I am? Smash that like button if you believe this team is about to shock the NFL yet again. And hit that subscribe button because we're going to break down every step of this incredible journey as it unfolds. You do not want to miss a single update about what could be one of the most thrilling seasons in recent Chiefs history. Thank you guys. See you next video.